Welcome back to the Leafs in 7 podcast with Mike, Camille, Brandon. If you
Hello.
notice, we got a brand new overlay. It's awesome. And you guys would have seen it a couple of weeks ago, but I screwed up the recording and we basically
Ah,
recorded like 40 minutes of footage and it was useless.
no,
So,
I believe it was over an hour.
okay, well, we don't need to, touch base on the details there, Brandon, but no. Really unfortunate. Got the overlay up. We actually have a intro finished. We just need to implement it. So we're kind of getting everything officially started for the season. Super pumped up. Training camp is just a couple of weeks away. Development camp for the Leafs has already started. And yeah, we're excited to get going. We got a bunch of things to talk about today.
we
One of the things I'm most excited for, and I can't wait to talk to about these guys, is the Olympics. I'm so friggin' stoked that they're back.
Yes, finally.
Uh,
How long has it been?
since it's been
Too long.
since 2018, because
No,
yeah,
shit, I thought it's been longer than that.
no,
It
2014
just
we
felt like
actually,
longer.
yeah, 2014 we actually went to like the NHL went to
Mm.
Sochi, and
Oh,
then
that's right. Yep.
yeah, so
It just
yes,
it just felt so long,
right,
right?
yeah,
But
absolutely.
no.
But yeah, so excited to be back here, guys. Um, Want to start off with something kind of light before we get into anything though. So growing up, if you ever watched any like European leagues in like professional hockey, what do you take away from their jerseys? They're full of ads, right? I don't know if you guys saw, but
Ah,
just a light thing here. Ads are actually coming back. Uh, well, they're coming to the NHL at least for the first time in next season. So not this season coming, but next season. It is confirmed that ads will be on jerseys. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? I think it's dangerous, but
it all depends. Like you said, as long as it's not like the bloody what I don't remember the soccer league, but like they have the friggin' ad on the front of the jersey. It's bigger than their logos, right?
yeah,
As long as it's not like that. Like the you take the helmet ads from last year, for instance. That wasn't a big deal at all,
yeah,
right? It's just Scotia back on the side. Who cares? If it's like, like when you get the jerseys and you have like the friggin' Reebok there or whatever, if that's where the ad goes, I'm cool with it.
sure,
It's when if they start putting it on like the shoulders where the logos are supposed to go, or they're on the chest, or like underneath where your name is, and it's big. Like, no, I don't want to buy a jersey that says um like like Air Canada or some shit like that. Like, do you?
no,
That's where I think you're right. It gets dangerous.
yeah,
That's. I was gonna say like I honestly don't care about the ads, but if I was to buy a jersey, if there's an ad the size of a logo, I'm not buying it. It's plain and simple. But
If the
honestly, when
ads
they're
are nice,
playing, yeah, if
yeah,
they're nice and small, it's good. But if they're playing, honestly, I don't give a shit because I'm just there to watch the hockey, not look at the jerseys. I know what they look like. Been watching them lose for many years, so
yeah. But it's like you like to see like the Leafs have a nice jersey. I,
yeah.
I like the Leafs jersey. I like the Leafs logo. I don't want to cheer for the Scotiabank Leafs. I want to cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right. So again, if it's like a small little square on the friggin' side, and
yeah, yeah,
one on maybe on the forearm or something, sure, like whatever. You got to make some extra money. They've lost a lot of money the last year because of COVID. I understand. You got to make some extra money, and a lot of leagues do it. But there's a line, and
yeah.
they don't pass that line, or else I wouldn't buy a jersey like that. Would you?
I
I
mean,
would just buy old jerseys.
I'm all for it if it's like, especially again, all hockey teams are like obviously important, but like for the original six, you can't taint those logos, right? That's super important to the sport. And if this raises the salary cap, because heavens knows we need it, I'm all for it.
By all means,
Yeah,
by all means.
Do it.
get it going.
Again,
Plaster the
there's a
jersey. Nah,
line.
screw it, guys. Plaster the jerseys. Keep the logo safe. Plaster the jerseys. Get the salary cap up there.
Get that cap up.
Yeah. Some teams,
Uh,
some owners won't even spend, even if the cap goes up. The Leafs will. So let's do that. But yeah. So okay, you guys brought something up before the show here, and I didn't look into it at all. So you guys are gonna have to talk to me about it. First time hearing about it. Mixed feelings. PK Subban, Boston, Toronto rumors. What is going on with that?
So yeah, like I've seen like a couple things, but I think I was most recently I saw on Sports Illustrated and they were talking about it how their one writer from multiple NHL sources claiming that the Bruins were looked into it a couple times about how much it would be for them, and then their words for the Leafs were more than lukewarm interest.
that was
Uh,
from Jimmy Murphy.
yeah, that's
Mentioned the
right.
Toronto Maple Leafs have more than a lukewarm interest in Subban.
More
I
than.
hope not. I hope not.
What's his?
Well,
Can
it's-
someone pull up his salary cap, please, while we're
It's
talking about
$9
him?
million.
the hit, yeah.
9 million cap hit.
So
No
that's the
thanks.
biggest problem with getting him is if you're unable to get him, you're gonna have to pay a lot of money, and
How old is he?
Yeah, I mean,
or they'll have to retain a lot because they have a lot of salary. He's 32
he's 32.
No,
Okay.
no worries.
And-
What's
and
gonna
he's
happen? What's gonna happen?
in the
They're
last
gonna-
year of his deal.
It
Yeah.
is the last year.
Yeah,
So,
great.
but the thing is,
They retain half. They retain over half. That's what happens.
That's
still,
the
I,
other way.
I 4.5 for him though. He's on like the tailspin of his career at this point. He hasn't been playing well at all the last while. I mean, to be fair, he's
4.5 though.
Yeah,
4.5. It can be a 4.5.
I think so.
Not
For
retain.
I think so with LTIR, potentially some move arounds like that. I also, as I've said before 1,000 times, it's still gonna happen. Either Kerfoot or Engvall are getting moved. Engvall would be lesser cap restrictions. Or Kerfoot would be a much bigger one. This guy cannot play third line center in this season. I don't think it makes any sense at the dollar value he's been given on this particular team. So, yeah, who knows? Or who knows what the salary retention would be like? I have no idea. But if they do a large salary retention, what are you giving up for that? It's probably a pick,
Yeah.
and
I doubt it happens.
do we have picks? Like really? Like I don't
That
know.
is like, give me 2 seconds. I will pull that up. I was just thinking with the comp, that does make sense. If you play comp over Kerfoot, you're saving at like 2 mil. You're saving like 2 mil a year if you play comp over Kerfoot, get rid of Kerfoot. So like, makes
Like-
sense.
Like Comp's not going to get you points, but he is the shutdown guy.
Wait.
Someone we haven't
Yeah,
had. We haven't had in years. Years. Have-
So Camille,
Yeah.
we have some picks. Like we have a first and a second rounder next year.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's it though. We have a conditional 7th as well.
Trade them all till Matthews and Marner
Yeah,
are
no
29
draft
years
day.
old. Get going. Just keep trading them away. No, seriously though. That rumor to me sounds a little whack just hearing about it, just because of the salary cap situation. Like, imagine what the retainment would have to be on that salary, right, for that deal to go through.
To me, it sounds like hometown guy, and there's nothing going on in the hockey world right now. So
Yeah.
throw it out into the world.
Yeah.
I hope.
That's-
I like Subban. Like, Subban is a funny ass guy. I'm not sure if you guys remember him doing the Don Cherry thing when he dressed up as Don Cherry and did the impersonation a couple years back.
He's funny. He's funny.
Yeah, he's a
It's good.
great funny guy. I bet he's amazing in the locker room.
Good community guy.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
we're already we're in cap trouble as it is. I can't see us giving him 4.5, let alone if they retain less than 50.
Yeah, I don't think it's realistic, but maybe it's just
LTIR.
a due diligence thing, man.
Yeah.
Maybe do what you're saying. I
LTIR.
gotta at least poke and see what it is, but
You
Yeah.
say LTR, but we're already at 0 cap space, and we're already using LTR. Like We're-
Shh. Someone's
who
gonna
else
go.
do we put on LTR?
Someone's gonna get conveniently injured, and then we're gonna go over the cap like Tampa Bay did for playoffs, and we're good. That's the plan. That's the goal. That's what I'd be doing.
that's a winning plan right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Stanley Cup winner.
So what? Injure Nylander because he's the only one who does well in the playoffs.
That's not true. He's only done the one who did well last playoffs, but
yeah,
I
he's
mean,
been awful before.
I mean,
awful before
Yeah,
that. He was awful before
but-
that.
yeah, that's fair. But he was pretty damn good this year.
Yes, hopefully that
Done.
consistency continues, because if it doesn't, and he's all of a sudden doesn't show up either, then we're in even
Yeah,
worse
they were
trouble.
boned.
Big thing here. Obviously it's been, I think for the most part, all formally said and done that the NHL will be participating in the Beijing Olympics. There is a Leaf angle to this. Probably 2 Leaf angles to this Canadian team. Just based on some of the TSN insiders, making predictions and things like that. Obviously, we've got Mitch Marner. As much as you can talk about the contracts and the money, he's going to make that team.
Absolutely.
He's too good.
Yeah.
He's too good not to. And then the other one, which Mike and I were actually discussing a couple of days ago, Morgan Riley didn't have the greatest season last year, but I still think, based on the defensemen that are out there, he's got a good shot at making it. There was I'm not sure if you guys have been looking around, but what do you think? Do you think Morgan Riley would make it? Have you looked at any potential lists, Brandon?
Yes, and before I continue, you did miss one major player that most likely will make an Olympic roster.
We're talking Canada.
Oh, talking
But
Team
yeah.
Canada. I was only
I
Team
know,
Canada
just-
only.
You just said Olympics. I'm like, There's
Matthews
a
is a
Leafs
lock.
player.
We know it.
Yeah, we don't need to say anything about Matthews. Do you guys have any idea how hype it's gonna be if Canada actually gets a chance to play the U.S. again? Like, so before it used to be like it was never like a great head. Like we had Crosby as like a centerman, and then it would be against like they had Joe Pavelski in prior years. They had I forget the other centerman that they had, but it was never like really. They had Patrick Kane when he was in his prime and things like that in Sochi. It was really great, but Matthews versus McDavid, like, oh man, that is.
Oh, give it to me.
Yeah,
Just
please,
give it,
please, like,
please.
oh, but yeah, no,
Do you,
yeah, go ahead.
do you remember when the story was always Line versus Matthews?
How'd that turn out for all involved? It goes back to the 2016 NHL awards when Babcock, Matthews was there and he got the Calder, and when they called Matthews' name, like Patrick Laine, when they just zoomed in on him and he rolled his eyes, I was dying. I thought that was so funny. But seriously, guys, we're gonna have some good.
Let's go back to Morgan Riley. I took you off topic. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think he's gonna make it based on the names that are being thrown out there for Team Canada, like projections.
Well, I mean, I don't see him making it.
I do. Why not? Tell me who you'd have ahead of him.
Shea Theodore.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pietrangelo.
yeah.
Yep.
Dougie Hamilton. Cale Makar.
Yeah, Cale Makar. Yeah.
Shabbat. Burns.
Yeah, I think he's.
Is Parayko Canadian?
Who?
Colton
Sorry.
Parayko?
No, I don't.
Parayko.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I see all those guys going above Morgan Riley.
I don't know about all of them. I don't know, because it is like another year away too, and
maybe not all of them, but I listed more than.
It's only February. It's only February, Mike. It's coming fast, man. It's
I
coming
know.
fast.
But I just think Riley, because he's got the offensive potential.
Yeah.
Whereas some of those guys
potential.
do.
But he's terrible defensively.
Yeah, but in the Olympics, it's a high scoring thing. Like,
true.
Let's compete up with these high scoring teams.
I don't know.
I would like to see how he. It all depends how he plays this year. Last year could have just been a fluke, and I hope that's the case. Especially because it's a contract year, so he's going to be playing even harder. We'll see how he looks this year.
I think he's actually going to be. I don't know. Like, maybe I may disagree with Mike a little bit. Like there's teams where Canada will absolutely floor. Like, that's just going to happen. Bigger ice though can sometimes be lower scoring affairs, but like, you need offense on that bigger ice. You need people who can move the puck up, and like that's so important. So like, I would put Shea Theodore, Pietrangelo, Shabbat, Cale Makar, and then one of Morgan Riley, Dougie Hamilton, Aaron Ekblad on that last pair there. Yeah, and maybe Bowen Byram, Drew Doughty get looks. I don't know, but I'm so excited. And also, one more thing, another Leaf we didn't think about that could make Team Canada on the fourth line as a forward. What about John Tavares? Think he could?
Yeah, as one of the extra guys, he has a shot. I think.
I could see him making a lower line. That'd be good.
That's some great representation, guys. Give me the Olympics now. By the way, if you guys are wondering and listening, well, when can I tune into these games? You can actually go on to Olympics.com. All the times are already there for all the games, which is crazy. They're super prepared about this. I actually wrote out a list with Mike a couple of days ago, and it is a 12-hour difference. You will have to be awake at 3 a.m. for some games. If I'll probably be taking off work for some of those games because I'm going to be super pumped. But yeah, I can't wait, guys. I can't freaking wait.
I just pulled up a list of a projected team for Team Canada.
Yep.
Holy hell! Do you want to hear this prediction?
Sure.
Okay, top line: Braden Point, McDavid, McKinnon. Dear God. Bergeron, Crosby, Marchand. Huberdeau, Scheifele, Mark Stone.
Yep.
Bottom line is Barzell, O'Reilly, and Marner.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say McKinnon at all?
McKinnon?
Yeah.
Yeah, top line.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear for a second.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Let's chill. Okay, that makes sense.
And then Sperzer, Sean Couturier, and Tavares.
So that's incredible.
Such disgusting.
So we all know Chris Johnston. I know we keep going over these lineups here, but this one's most interesting to me because it was just a couple of days ago. Chris Johnston's a great reporter. I like Sportsnet. Looking at his predictions here, listen to this line: Nathan McKinnon left wing, Connor McDavid center, Mitch Marner on the right hand side. Like that to me is just so like
Oh, that's so
I
that's
don't.
nasty.
There's no top line. There's not one forward group that can compare to Team Canada's forwards. Maybe the defense
You
could
know,
be a little bit weaker, but
that's a great line for Marner too, because he doesn't have to worry about being hit. Because
it's
they're gonna
true.
be like, they're freaking Connor McDavid. Like put 4 guys on Connor McDavid.
Bigger ice too.
Like,
Bigger ice too. Harder to hit as
yeah,
well. Like,
figure
it's
it.
just
Yeah,
And guys
yeah,
like
he can dance around
McDavid, when he
people.
gets space, that's trouble.
yeah. I think it's good.
Love
For,
McDavid without
I think
space is
bigger ice
trouble.
is really good for Marner. I think like bigger space,
Yeah.
like he's
All
gonna.
those young
Oh yeah.
speedsters, man.
Yeah.
Can we just take
Go.
a moment and just think about how good Connor McDavid is? Just, I would just love him to. I just want to see him on a good team. I want to see him make it past the first round. I want to see that kind of player win. I know he's not on my team, but like, man, it's a travesty not to see him pass the first round.
Yeah.
Well, second, I guess, but like, I want to see him pass that every year. Like, he should be the top every year. So unfair.
You know how this is kind of changing topic a little bit, guys. This is kind of about how the NHL handles and players and teams handle injuries. So when Austin Matthews announced that he was having wrist surgery because obviously he tried all the conservative methods throughout the summer and it didn't work, that he opted for surgery and he still has plenty of time to get back for training camp, which is great. Crosby just had the same thing. But he just did it now, so he's out for 6 weeks now, which is like now you're missing. I don't know. You're missing the start of the season, aren't you? Basically, you're missing at least the first week, which isn't bad. But I'm almost curious. Like, I've always wondered this. Like, when do you get to that point? You know, like you give it like 3 months, 4 months, because if we had Austin Matthews missing even for a week, I'd be terrified. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And also, how do you guys think? Do you guys think Crosby's still a for sure lock for the Canadian Olympic team as well? With saying that, I would say so. But.
No, I think he's a lock. I don't think but Pittsburgh itself, I don't think they're work. I don't think Pittsburgh's a massive cup contender anymore. Like, I think they're locked for playoffs, but I don't think they're a top cup contender anymore. So maybe they're just kind of like, let do your own thing. I don't know.
They should be
Well,
rebuilding.
they just need to get into playoffs. Ideally, is what they're thinking, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Just a couple weeks of them, whatever it happens, we're still fine as long as like more
I mean-
teams make it that don't. So
Exactly. One of the things I wanted to touch on lightly because we didn't have a chance to record our podcast was very briefly because it's older news, but the Kotkaniemi offer sheet.
Yeah.
We didn't really get a chance to talk about that. So basically, for those of you who aren't aware, the Carolina Hurricanes did poach Kotkaniemi and then choosing to take Carolina's, or they didn't match. Montreal didn't match it, so they basically chose to take Carolina's first and third round 2022 draft picks. What do you guys think about that move? Do you think it's the right move for Montreal not to match that? Just curious.
I mean, would you call Carolina a bunch of jerks?
Is that from Don Cherry? No, I don't think so. Like, I think the offer sheet's there. You should use it. I don't like a lot of people have a lot of stigma about that. General managers are like, oh, we don't want to, rattle the cage because this could be a potential.
Boring.
Yeah, just do it. Like it's there. I would use it all the time if I could.
Glad one went through.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This guy you want, go for him.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so maybe you tarnish your relationship with that specific team. Look, there's 29 other teams that you can deal with. Take the risk.
31.
Or 30. Yeah, sorry, 30 other teams that you can deal with. Yeah, that's right. I'd do it. What did he sign?
Glad they did it. They signed up for 6.1, and it's just for the year. And then obviously next year it's going to be cheaper. They sign up for 6.1 for 1 year, and then next year they might give him like a kind of a Nazem Kadri deal where he's making like 4.5 for 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, it all depends
I
on how he
think pretty-
plays. Depends on how he plays, right?
But everyone's focusing on the 6.1, but it's 6.1 for this year. After that, it's going down unless he's like a friggin' stud.
Like,
But
I don't know. Like this guy got again. We're not obviously he's not all about points. But he's the third overall pick. This guy has 62 points in his NHL career in 171 games. Like,
I'm not saying he's bad.
No. But like 62 points in 171 games. Like, I don't know how I'd ever be paying him $6 million. I don't know.
Again, that's why he's getting paid $6 million this year, and then it's going down, and then next year it's like, oh, 6.1 million. Ooh. But then it's like, well, actually, we're getting him for 4.2 for 8 years.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
that's not bad.
That's
Yeah,
one thing I hate about early draft picks too. Like maybe it's a stigma now, or like they still think there's gonna be something there. He was an early pick. Could be still something there. Let's do it. I don't know if that's what they're thinking is, obviously, but I hate that mentality, to be honest. But it's how people think.
Yeah, no, that's so true. One of the things I saw rumored, by the way, not too long ago, it was on TSN. I don't know about the validity of this, but is there any truth to a Hamilton, Ontario, Toronto, Buffalo outdoor game?
Yeah, there is.
If there is, I'm going to that because it's so close.
Oh,
and
100%.
Gotta go to it.
Drain my bank account.
Yeah.
Don't tell my fiance.
Yeah, that's right. No, super excited though. I don't know. Would you guys? How much do you think tickets would go for that? I don't know. That'd be so sweet if we could do that. I'd be so excited.
Oof.
Oh man.
I mean, probably like $300
Yeah, it's not gonna be cheap.
for like the cheapest tickets. Probably like $200-300.
Nah, that's Hamilton. Nobody wants to go to Hamilton. But
exactly. That's why you paid $300
least
for
they will.
nosebleeds in Toronto. You're gonna pay $300 big outdoor game because Hamilton they don't care as much. Actually, that's a lot. There's a lot of Toronto.
So
There's a lot of Toronto
That's
fans.
true,
It's gonna
actually.
go insane. They're gonna sell out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially after a year of no hockey, everyone's gonna be eager.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, guys, as we approach training camp? Like, I'm just curious. Is there anything you're looking out for? Because, it's coming up soon. For me, I've got a couple of standouts in mind. I actually really want to see how Robertson performs in training camp. Did he get bigger? It seems like he got bigger,
Okay.
which is important, especially for him. He was a little bit smaller. And there's certain players that can get away with that, right? Like elite talent who are small, great skaters who can avoid hits, but like it's not all
But
players.
based on his game.
Yeah.
Based on his game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all players can do that.
Like I felt the same thing about Liljegren. I've heard good things about him when he's been playing in the minors and stuff. I just want him because when he had a brief stint with the Leafs, I didn't like how he played. He didn't have the size to play the style game he was playing. So I'm hoping he put on some size. And from what I've heard, he's done a lot better. He's made a lot of improvements and he's put on a bit of weight too.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see him play.
Yeah, me too. But really, I think as we've said on this show before, I'm really excited to see the bargain bin performance. Like, can one of these guys take it and run with it? Because you've got a few options there now, and I think there's a good chance. But I'm not going to say like 70% or 80%, but I think there's like a good solid like 50 or 60% chance that one of these guys that we got at discounted rates, whether one of the guys who can maybe stick with the top line, end up playing really well, and we get really lucky on one guy. I'm not saying he's going to be a 40 goal scorer, but I think that's what I'm excited for. That's who I'm going to be looking at is like these discount players and how they're going to fit into the lineup with all these elite talent. It's exciting.
So,
it's exciting. I'm pumped.
For the two of you, out of all the bargain bin guys that we have, like all the guys under $1 million or even a little bit over that we've talked about over this offseason, who are you most excited to look at?
Honestly, I want to say this first. I want to say that I'm really happy that we have Mrazek in goal with Campbell. I really like that stability. I like the thought of if Campbell runs with it, he runs with it. If not, I'm glad we have someone who's, still a solid backup, or a second A. I don't care if price, whatever. Because I know Campbell had injury.
It's his own thing, man.
Hey, Campbell had injury issues. If that guy was down and we had to rely on someone else, I'd be terrified. So I'm fine with it.
Oh, 100. I agree.
But yeah, no. Who I'm excited for the most is probably, as I've said 1,000 times, probably Michael Bunting. Just because I've watched a lot of his highlights from Phoenix, and I like how he goes to the net. He reminds me of JVR a lot in that way. He gets these deflections. He's got a great wrist shot, and this guy is not bad. His shooting percentage last year was insanely high, so I don't expect that to keep up. But I'm definitely looking out for him. And I think the other bargain bin discounts that we have are what? It's Andre Cassé, and then there's also Curtis Gabriel, who's more like a fourth line tough guy, and then there's also there's Kampf as well. David Kampf.
I like Kampf.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
Also excited about Nick Ritchie. I know he's not bargain bin, but I'm kind of excited to see him play on the Leafs.
I literally just forgot about Nick Ritchie. How did I forget about Nick Ritchie?
Yeah, I know.
What is happening? Okay,
yeah. You're talking about bargain bin guys, man. A lot of weird stuff's happened this offseason.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, Nick Ritchie. Yeah, let's go. I think this is still gonna be a fun season. I think honestly for me, this is a more fun season than last season, just because. And I'm saying
More
this. I'm
gamble.
saying this with certainty. By the way, I want everyone to come flame me. I'll give you my address. You can egg the house. The management will not be back if this team fails again. But I felt like last year, even if they failed, they'd still have another shot. So this year, I don't feel like that's a thing anymore. So it's really do or die, and I think that's exciting to live in. You know, like I like, as twisted as it is, I like when people are in do or die moments, and I like seeing, you know, there's a quote that like basically like the one thing that people like to see succeed, like a hero succeed, what they want to see more than a hero succeed is to see a villain. Oh wait, maybe I messed up the quote. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like,
I
Yeah.
know what you mean. Like it's better to see them fail and then succeed than to just succeed without any,
yeah,
right.
well that's
I
not
get
it,
it.
but yeah. But point
But
is,
I get the gist of it.
yeah. So Kyle, Brendan, it's all on them, and I'm just so. I mean, it's on the players too, but I'm still so pumped. You know.
I've said this a couple times on the show, but we said that last year, and that's why that Leafs bio is called Leafs All or Nothing, because that's what we said last year. As much as everyone's like, "Oh, this is the year," I'm like, "I said it last year. I'm not fucking show me. Don't just tell me. Show me. Do something."
Well,
Right? I
yeah.
don't want to be next fucking July and be like, "Oh shucks, guys, out of the first round again." Well, this is the year. This is their last shot, and then we say it for the next 3 years, and then we get to oh well, Matthews just left. Matthews got signed somewhere else because his contract ran up.
One step at a time,
Like
my friend. One step at a time. But
I know, I'm sick of hearing this is the last chance for the Leafs. This is all or nothing. I'm sick of hearing it.
difference. That's not. But the difference is that was. That was the easiest path last year potentially for them to go somewhere. I never thought management, at least for me, I never thought management would be fired if they screwed up again. I didn't think so. I never had that feeling. However, just based on the uh, almost like the vibe of Kyle Dubas himself, like it seems like that guy knows. Like I'm not sure if there's been internal talk. I'm not sure. I have no idea what that looks like, but that guy knows it's for him
Oh
at
yeah.
least. It's this is it. So
Yeah, they know. They know. I'm excited to watch that Leafs bio because apparently there's a lot behind the scenes of him yelling at people and
uh,
being pissed off. And that's cathartic to me. I need to see him. I need to see that he cares because all I see is like, oh yeah, like our guys worked really hard this year. We're gonna work hard next year. It's like, no, I want to see him pissed off that they fucked up a 1 foot putt from the green. Like they're on the green, they see the hole, and it's like what like this far away, and they fuck it up. And he's like, I'm not mad. Like these are my boys. Like they'll do it. No, I want to see him angry. I just need to see some emotion from this team
Torts.
because I've given them so much of my emotions.
yeah, that's right.
Ugh,
Um,
I need something.
I think that's just kind of like sometimes there's like the impression that oh you're calm, you don't care, but like I think Kyle, his demeanor has always been very level headed and calm, and I've seen him be
That's
emotional
fair.
in the stands, but like it's just how he is. Like he's pretty analytical, right? So as I picture that picture with him and all the geometry and all the math equations going on in the
Yeah,
background,
that's a great
I
one.
love that one. But yeah, going back, circling back a little bit to training camp, do you think opening night for the Leafs, I think it's October 13th against Montreal, um, that we
Excited.
see Nick Robertson on this team?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You think so? Like without
Yep.
certainty? Okay.
I believe he's going to be on there.
Okay.
I liked how he played 2 years ago against Columbus, and I can't imagine he's gotten worse.
I
And
like
our depth's gotten worse. So
I like
makes
that
sense
he
to me.
shot the puck against Columbus. I don't like that he was a ragdoll against Columbus. He just got shoved around, which is to be
Again,
expected, I
2
guess.
years, 2 years ago.
18-year-old in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's only 19 right now, actually. So his birthday's September 11th. So,
20
and-
years old. That's hey, he played when he was 18. He's gotten a bit old. He's definitely gotten bigger. Right? Like 18 to 20 years old, you're going to get bigger. So I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see him play. One of these bargain bin guys is going to be knocked off in place of him, I believe. It might be,
well, say
you know,
like Andre
Curtis Gabriel.
Yeah, or Kasei, right? Like they,
Percocet.
I mean, hope I'm saying that right, Andre Kasei. But yeah,
I
like
I think it was
because
Kosh
a
or
lot of
Kosh.
people like obviously his teammates like Nick Ritchie even said like like he's doing a lot better and stuff. But like I think
Mhm.
a few of us have said they're not going to say anything negative, right? Because that just
No. Yeah.
so it's gonna be interesting. I think the least likely bargain bin player to make the team would be Kasei, just based on injury issues alone, and he hasn't played much in the last 2 years. Of course, it's not a grand prediction by any means. It's just logical. But I think the other guys are going to make an impact. I'm just, I, I might just pay. I might just pick Michael Bunting in my fantasy draft. I might be that confident. I think I don't know. I got a feeling. I
Old.
I got a keeper league this year, so that's my first time doing a keeper league.
oh really?
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Maybe we should do like a segment on our do's and don'ts for NHL fantasy drafts.
Yeah, yeah. I,
First, don't draft Michael Bunting.
Camille, are you listening?
no, you know what? Everyone said that when I drafted Patrick Marleau really high a couple of years ago. Yeah, he's a way better player than Michael Bunting. Yes, he's way more recognizable. Or not, sorry, not Patrick Marleau, Joe Pavelski.
Mm.
And like he had not had a great year prior, and he just absolutely destroyed it. He led my league in fantasy. I ended up winning that fantasy pool, which is amazing. And I took him super high. I just had a good feeling. I got really lucky. That was like years ago though. Like this is like 2014 or something. But yeah, no, Michael Bunting I think is a late pick, a late pick, and he's gonna kill it. He's gonna be on the first line with Matthews and Marner. He's gonna be getting these tips. He's gonna go to the net. It's gonna be beautiful.
Tip?
Either that, or Nick Ritchie's gonna be on the top line, and I'm gonna be wrong and disappointed.
No. I could see Bunting maybe get some time with them.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
Yeah.
It looks like anyways, I don't know why I'm so excited about a guy who, you know, he's got 20 goals and playing whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I just got a feeling. I've got a feeling in my chest.
Point is, you're excited, and there's things to be excited about.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be excited again. Like, I still don't care about the regular season, but I'm still excited to watch games for the sake of watching games. Like,
Yeah.
and that's
Watch
something.
people develop.
Yeah, exactly. That's something in June that I couldn't fathom. I was just like, I think I was watching the game with my mom, one of the playoff games, and I said, like, I'm not fucking watching this team again. You know, I did all the classic Leaf things like I'm sure many fans do. I'm not watching this team. Oh, you're just saying that. You'll get over it. No, I'm not. I started, you know, don't talk to me when that's happening. But no, I'm ready to go back. I not saying I'm expecting anything different, but I'm ready to see some casual play of the sport I love. Even if I'm not fully invested till the playoffs, just really pumped up to get going here.
It does make me sad that's the case with this team, right? Like you can be excited, but you in your heart you know it doesn't mean shit till the playoffs because this team could be top in the division. Doesn't matter. They're gonna lose in seven.
Or win in 7. Thus the Leafs in 7. You never know. Just saying. It's
It's gonna be in seven regardless.
if
Because that's
I think if the Leafs win in 7, I think we should do like a thing where we do predictions to make the playoffs, and whoever says Leafs in 7 and we get it right, there should be like some huge celebratory friggin' I don't know. I'll get a
do you,
giant Maple Leaf tattoo across my chest. Like
do you think if they ever make the second round, it goes to 7 games? Because
no,
every first
no,
round in the
no, no,
no,
no.
you think if we win the first round, we have to win in seven.
I
I think we need to do that to break the curse
yeah.
to defeat the
Or
Wizard.
just win in 4. I just want the win.
I
I'd be okay with that.
I think if the Leafs win the first round, I think the second round they win less than 7 games, no matter who the opponent is. That's just how I feel about the team. I just feel
If
like
they
it's
go to
just
seven, it's like a mindset thing that they
it's
won't do
just
it.
mental. It's just mental. It's just mental. And
Even I watched them lose game 6. I'm like, they're not winning the series. And then, sure enough, as soon as puck drop on game 7, like they're not in it, and it's done. And
like
I think it's a mindset thing. You're right.
I don't think people understand what a mental struggle is. When people are like, "Oh, they're paid athletes. They make so much money and they can't like." Let me give you like some just out of context like experience with this. Like when I played competitive video games for a couple of years, there was one point where whenever I would play a certain player, I would just give up before I even played them because I was like, "There's no point. can't beat them. It always happens. I always get so close, always lose every single time. At one point, I thought my controller, like someone had done something to my controller. That's how mentally obsessed I was and mentally like in my own head I was. And then once it happens, once you break through it, and you push through and you push through, and it just changes your outlook on everything. And I think that's what goes on with this team. I really, really believe that. It's just the players who've stuck around, who've had to deal with disappointment and disappointment and disappointment. It just builds, and it's like.
But man, it's not just this group though. Like we have like a revolving door of people, and they all seem to be affected by this curse.
The core stayed the same. The core stayed the same.
Core stayed the same. Yeah.
I'm not saying the core's bad. I'm just saying the core mentality since 2016, for example, when obviously we did okay there with Washington. I think we went to game 6 or something, but like that core group since being drafted in 2016, Zach Hyman's no longer there, but there was like Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Riley's been there for a while. Like these guys have been there. Yeah, there's been revolving players surrounding the core, but
I'm just saying those revolving players that are coming in also are, other than Jason Spezza, who is just
yep,
who's just a godsend. Everyone loves Jason Spezza because I love him too.
Yep.
Everyone else, like you watch like game 6 and 7. And they just all looked like shinny players. They just look like ass being like 90% of the team. And it's like, I get where you're saying, like, oh, you got their mental state, you're playing someone certain and it affects you. But how does that happen to an entire team consistently? Like,
it's almost like there's
I don't get it.
Like a hive mind thing. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter because people try to argue, like Camille said, like, oh, they get paid millions of dollars. They shouldn't worry about this. I'm like, there's still people.
Yeah, there's like humans.
Stress out. There's still pressure on people. It doesn't matter how much you get paid or what you're doing. There's pressure. There's pressure. It can get to you. But yeah, it is kind of crazy. It's like a phenomenon with this team.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But to be fair, you give them the benefit of the doubt for a couple years. But when it's disappointment after, and it's not just, oh, they lost, it's like massive disappointment after massive disappointment. It's like, okay, guys, you're getting paid $10 million. Like, you have to show up once. Like, we didn't ask for much. They
did show up 3 times. Even I would argue they even showed up.
They showed up like one period of one game.
I think they showed up
and almost won.
I think they showed up 4 times, maybe 5 times, and then they just threw it all away. And it's in these pressure moments too, where like, I mean, I'm not a pro athlete, but it doesn't matter if it's athletics or like esports or anything. It's in those like crunch time moments, right? Where like that's where you're just. It's so cliche. I hate it, but it's just where like the defining moment. It's what all like this crap is about. So,
but the expectations aren't high. I mean,
like, in Toronto they're always high.
In Toronto,
well, I mean, our expectation. We were top of the division. In Vegas odds, we were like one of the top favorites, and all we were saying was make it to the second round.
Sure.
Just beat the team that came in, what was Montreal, 18th or something like that, 16th or 18th. Just beat the 16th place team and go to the second round.
Hey man,
you're up 3-0. Just win one more game, and they can't do that. So you know what? I'm sorry. Like I was super negative at the beginning of this summer because I've given them the benefit of the doubt for so long. And I'm like, you know what? And I've said this already. I don't care what you say. Show me it. Like I could, if I hear another sob story next year about, oh, shucks, like we just couldn't pull it through. I'm like, no. Like exactly what Camille said. The management, you're gone. Like there's major moves on the team. Gone. Because you can't do this every single year and expect all the fans to be like, okay, we'll just accept this crap every single year. Like you do it for 1 or 2 years. It's like it's a mental thing. Okay. But if you're getting paid, I know we're talking about payment and mental thing. It's not the same. But if you are asking to be paid $11 million and you just get massive disappointment after massive disappointment, are you really worth the $11 million?
Well, yeah, that's another argument, right?
It's to win, right? Like you get like 1 or 2. Like, okay, yeah, you know what? You're a human. Like, you're not going to be on every single night. I get it, but you can't just keep like shitting the bed. They don't lose. They shit the bed every time. They can't just consistently do that. That's all I'm getting at, and that's what's pissing off a lot of fans, right?
Sure.
Just make the second round.
But to be fair, though, I'm one of those people like, yes, just win one round. But really, though, once they win that round, I want more.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But if they made it to the second, how much less flack? Like Mitch Marner wouldn't be trending on Twitter every single day if they made it to the second round.
I mean, it is the Leafs, so no matter how it ends, they're
Yeah.
going to be riding
Yeah,
them. So,
but less like, can you the shitstorm from getting it destroyed the first to losing in the second? A big difference,
I don't know, man.
right? At least they made progress, but they didn't. They actually went back.
Well, I don't know if they went back. I think they actually
Eh,
were better in the playoffs this year than they were against Columbus. To be honest, I'm gonna be straight with you. I believe so. Like even though they cracked, we had our
I'll
captain
agree with you on
we
that.
had our captain injured in the first game, and also a 40 goal scorer, which is ridiculous. That guy's there. We don't lose, in my opinion. I don't want to talk about it, but also, Muzzin again injured. Like these untimely things. I think versus Columbus, I never ever felt like we were in it ever, even though it went down to the game 5. It didn't.
Sure.
It didn't feel like it. Like they had that one comeback game with like scored 4 goals or something, and they.
Oh yeah, like I was screaming on that game.
Yeah, that was great, but like it didn't feel like they were in it. So, I think against Montreal, yes, they should have won. It's interesting because what problems I have is the Toronto media. I listen to Leafs Lunch, and I think it's I want to say her name. I want to make sure it's not Kristen Shilton. It's anyways, whoever does the Leafs Lunch show. TSN 1050. I always listen to that. It's Andy Petrillo, and she always does the show, and she used to always say to her guests on the air, she'd be like, doesn't it really just feel different this year? Like, you feel like the Leafs aren't going to crumble. Like, if they're losing a game, they don't chase the game. They don't get away from the game. They come back. And it's true. They did do that all regular season. And even in the playoffs, to a degree, when they were down, like they were against Montreal several times, they came back. They came back. And they came back. And they didn't just, like, turtle. And, like, she's like...
I would agree. Game 5, yes. Game 6 and 7, they weren't there.
Yeah, fine, fair.
Especially 7, that was the worst game they've played in years.
But my point is that the media in Toronto plays such a heavy influence on fans who are like me listening in, who are just like, if they hear this day after day after day, you start to believe it. You start to, oh yeah, these people are saying this, and whereas like, and the media craze in Toronto is just insane. Like, and I know the players feel it. I don't care how much money they make. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they turn off their phones for half the year. Absolutely, 100% they feel it. No other market has it. Maybe Montreal, but it's just unbelievable, the pressure that and again, I know we still need results. I don't care, grow up, win a series, but I'm just saying the factors that surround this team are just so unique, I think, to any team in the NHL. Like, it's just unbelievable. Like, not losing all these game 7s and the media attention, it's just crazy.
I've gotten to the point, I used to think the same way, but I've gotten to the point where it's just like, stop being a baby. It's like, yeah, okay, you know what? Toronto media, win something.
Yeah.
Like, just win. Like, if you want to be a crybaby and complain about Toronto media for 8 years, I don't want you here for 8 years.
Sure.
Just like, why? If it's like, that shouldn't be your go-to. It's like, oh, cool, I'll make money. And then when I don't win, I can just blame the media. It's great. No.
Sure.
I'm sick of hearing that every single year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get it. It's a hard market, but you wanted to play in the top hockey league in the world. You wanted to make the top money in the league.
It was something
Fucking
else.
win.
It was
the media.
It was something else that Jeff O'Neill said a while ago too. He said when he played for the Leafs, and he notices this now when he talks to like the younger players as well, is that when players come to Toronto, like all these kids who are from Ontario, like the OHL still produces the most NHL players, I think, out of any other league in the world. He always says, that when kids come and they're coming to Toronto, they always put on like this extra 10 or 15%. And as when he was a Leaf, it was hard to match that intensity. Like, he's not saying like, it's just like it always seemed to happen. So like, I think of the McDavid goal on Riley. I mean, McDavid's doing this on a regular basis to anyone anyways, but like, it's just these moments, where you come to Ontario, you want to prove what you got, you're back at home, you're back, like a lot of players are from Markham, Brampton, the GTA, and they just really burn the Leafs. And it's just all these like little intricacies that like, and you know what? At the end of the day, they're all excuses. You still have to do it, get the job done. I'm looking at the division right now, the Atlantic Division. I still think the Leafs are in good position to finish in a top 4 spot in that division. I think Montreal's... So let's name out the teams here, and I want you guys to tell me who you guys think are going to be in the top 4. So obviously, you guys know the Atlantic, but Toronto, Florida, Boston, Tampa, Montreal, Ottawa, Detroit, Buffalo. I think the teams that are not making it, and this is going to sound odd, but Buffalo, Detroit not making it. I don't think Montreal makes it either. I think Ottawa has a better
No.
shot of driving up the standings than Montreal does. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. Montreal's lost quite a bit this year with injury and losing Kotkaniemi. Who was the guy that they picked up right after they lost Kotkaniemi?
Um, it
What was his name?
was. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. It was. Christian Dvorak.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they got him.
That's for
I
the Philip Deneau loss. That's like he's like a shutdown
yes,
guy. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I think they'll do better in the in the actual league stands than they did last year.
Okay.
But I mean, you get to beat up on Buffalo a bit, so that helps.
Mhm.
Um, but like I said earlier in the year, the Leafs might not make the playoffs. I don't think that now. Just looking at that, I think they're going to be top four, but I think they'll be number four. I think they'll just squeak in
So we'll be playing
because
top seed.
honestly,
Yeah.
I don't see them beating Tampa, Boston, or Florida in the standings at all. It I if they're in if they're in an even tougher division, I don't see the Leafs making the playoffs. It's just that they have Montreal, Ottawa, and Buffalo underneath them. But
I think Ottawa's gonna be decent, to be honest. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Mike, what are your thoughts? Do you think they're gonna be in for sure?
The Leafs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we know, like we just said, the top four teams in that division, I think, is a lock. Ottawa is improving. I don't think they're quite there yet, but they're getting much closer. They've made some good moves and a lot of good young players there, but I don't see they're not making. I don't think they're making the move next year. And like
I
you said with Montreal, I'm with you on there. I don't see them. It was a fluke season. They lost. Like they were a good team, a good enough team. Obviously, they made it to the cup, but come on, it was good things fell
they
their
shouldn't have.
way,
Yeah,
and they lost some pieces. So I think they got, they're like the Leafs. They lost some pieces. They didn't get much better. So yeah.
what?
Um, yeah. Go
How
ahead.
would you guys react if come next April or March or April, Leafs are in like out of the playoff spot and Ottawa's overtaking them?
This
How do you
podcast
guys react?
this podcast dissolves into nothing. I permanently get another NHL team tattooed on my body that's had success, so I have to look at it every day in shame. That's what happens. Okay.
I'm just awaiting. I'm just dreading the day it's gonna be like March 12th, and then I'll be listening to Sportsnet. It's like the Leafs have mathematically been disqualified from the playoffs.
Nah, I don't. I wouldn't worry about that. I I think it's too premature in my opinion. They're gonna
I
make it.
doubt it's gonna happen, but I'm like, oh God, it could happen.
What's one thing you guys want to stay from last season with the Leafs team, and one thing you want to go? Just curious. I've got mine.
Can the power play like go away?
So yeah, you want the power? Okay, well, what do you want to stay?
It, I well, okay, well, for the power play, I would rather just take like a counter so that if we get a penalty, I can take away that penalty rather than go on our power play because our power play is that friggin' atrocious.
Okay, what would you keep though? Sorry.
What would I keep?
Hmm.
Um, I love Jack Campbell.
Like his
But
performance, right? His
yeah,
performance.
that's just a player though. Um,
That's fine. Like his performance, like just say solid goaltending, right? That's kind of like where we're.
so I think it was solid goaltending. I loved having him in net. Like he went on that 14 game winning streak. He was phenomenal. He was exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
And then him alongside Jason Spezza. Like I said, I love Jason Spezza. I
Uh,
love him.
yeah. So for me, a stay would be the defensive structure. Even though it didn't get it done in the playoffs, it was much better throughout the entire year. They played. I think TJ Brody really helped with that addition. Just calming things down. Doesn't put up points. Doesn't do anything like that. But he just makes things not nearly as dangerous when it's in their own end. And I never felt I never felt like nervous with the defense when they were on the ice. I thought it was the best defense that we've had in years. Um,
Absolutely.
so I think that has to stay for me, the defensive structure, and then go would be. Uh, I think the go for me would be. Yeah, it's tough to rule out something other than the power play because our season was so dominant, right? I would say I think the go would be cracking so blatantly under pressure, just like in the playoffs. Like as we mentioned, like not just Mitch, but other players as well, just really looking lost out there. I think that the composure needs to go. We need to regain that. We need to work on it somehow. I don't know, more team bonding. I'm not sure if fans in the stands will help. I don't know, but they need to figure out something to get that composure under lock. So the composure from last playoffs can go. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. My thing to say is the D. I like our depth at D.
Yeah,
People can make comments about, oh, Morgan Riley this, and like he's fine for his role. And
yeah.
we, like you said, Brody depth is great. Muzzin, when he's healthy, is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Even depth guys like Dermott, like he's not terrible, and I'm excited to see what Rasmus Sandin can do. See if he can make the next step. But I think we lost Bogosian, but I still think we're not bad. So I like that. But the thing that for me that has to go is just our inability to adapt. Whether it's the coaches or the playing things, they need to adjust when they need to adjust.
That's
You
a
can't
very good
keep
point.
trying what's not working. Do something different if you have to. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
No, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people felt the same, in terms of a fan perspective, felt the same way in the playoffs when a couple of years ago, obviously with the Babcock situation, and then if we go back to Keefe this playoffs, it was the same thing, right? The same lines, no breakup, like nothing changed really. I think there was actually someone who like did a counter of all the times Keefe changed the lines in that last game when things weren't going so well to try to mix up something, and it was very minimal, right? So I completely agree. That's a good one. That's a good one for sure.
I believe in Brandon's point of the power play, like that can also be fixed by adjusting, adapting, doing something different, because they kept trying the same things that didn't work. For some reason, they refused to shake
Why
it
don't
up.
you put Nylander on the top PP and put Marner on the second PP?
Yeah, try
Why
something
don't
different.
you
Shake it up.
Tavares on the top PP? Like it's just the same thing, and they just I have never actually played hockey on the ice other than
Sure.
like skating on it and shooting it into a net with some buddies. Never played a game on the ice or anything like that. And I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, this is how they're going to enter the zone. Puck's going to go here. Puck's going to go there. If just a guy who watches hockey can tell exactly what they're doing, professionals that can watch the video know exactly what they're doing. And it never changes. And that's why their power play always starts the season amazing and then quickly tanks and then never gets better.
Right.
It's happened. It happens. It's happened like the last 3 years.
And the problem is now, so the person in charge and responsible for the power play was a penalty kill specialist, which is Manny Malhotra, and he's back again in that same role.
Yeah.
But again, head coach can step in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just saying that the power play coach is literally designed for that purpose. And it's just hopefully that can. I would rather a less percentage power play than the Leafs had, but more consistent than it going completely absolutely dry for the latter half of the season. And then also that caused a huge problem in the playoffs because we could not do anything on it.
If the power play is just as bad as it was last year, say by Christmas, do they make a coaching change for that power play coach?
As a fan, I want to say yes. As an organization,
like if you have that much skill and you are that atrocious on the power play, there's something desperately wrong with how that thing is organized.
But they won't change if they're winning games. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but if they're winning games, but their power play is in like the bottom, is in like 24, 26 out of 32, I'd be like, okay, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Like Matthews should have more than 2 goals on the power play by January.
So I just had a quick question. This is really not so much. It's still with the Leafs, but what's the capacity like at Scotiabank with COVID? Like, do you guys know if it's like 30%, 50%?
I've got no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I do know that we have the whole passport thing going.
Like it could change before season comes too. So who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's geez. Yeah, so development. We obviously got the development camp roster. And then our actual training camp starts September 25th, I believe. So super excited, guys. Is there anything you guys want to bring up before we kind of end the show here for anyone listening in. I'm just so excited to get the to get this the just let's get going. Let's get it going. Let's see what these guys got.
I'm excited to watch the preseason games, see these young guys get playing.
Yeah.
I want to see what they look like.
Yeah. No, me too. I'm just reading over the. Well, here you go. You guys were talking about PK Subban earlier in Sports Illustrated, and we're talking about how a Leaf deal would work, right? And it's very similar to something I just said in my head without even really realizing it. Devils would have to retain 50% salary, okay, and then Alex Kerfoot can go. Simple as that. He's got term left. He's at an affordable price for any other team that's not overpaying forwards. It's easy, as simple as that. I'm just saying it's doable, right?
I think they'd probably have to throw in some picks or something too, I imagine.
For a 50% salary retain, yes. At the same time, it's only for the season.
Yeah, it's a 1 year, but
it depends on how New Jersey they could revisit this, right? If New Jersey's absolutely tanking this, hypothetically, I think that deal becomes,
he's going somewhere. I think by the end of the year. So
yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Brandon, do you have anything to say?
I was just gonna mention another thing with PK is like, there's all these you guys want to make it work. Well, maybe not you guys, but like people are saying how to make it work. Again, I don't want him on the team. Like he's not doing enough defensively. I mean, like his last 3 years, for instance. Let me just write these off really quick.
Sure.
Last 3 years, 18, 19, 63 games played, 31 points, +5. That's okay.
Well, what are you looking for though?
I want to see what he's like defensively and like his points wise. If he's making $9 million and say we get him for 5, right? What do you expect for a $5 million defenseman?
I mean,
because the last 2019, 2020, he was a -21 with 18 points. And then last year he had 19 points. It was a -16.
How are the New Jersey Devils in that time?
Not great.
Yeah.
But still, that's a -21. That's really bad for it.
Is that not the year that New Jersey finished last place? Just saying, like you can look at these stats all you want. I would much rather have PK Subban for the remaining part of a year at 4.5 for the 1 year than not have him. I'll be honest with you, I don't really care for Kerfoot that much. Just putting it out there.
But
go ahead.
Who would you take off the defense for Subban though? You're paying $4.5 million for Subban. Who would you take off?
Someone on the bottom pair. So obviously we have. I would say probably Dermott. I'd have Sandin with him.
Yeah, Dermott is the extra guy, or
you probably just trade Dermott at that point. Then what's the point of having a $1.5 million sitting?
Definitely not.
Well, based on our injury history.
Every single year, Muzzin gets injured every playoffs, first couple of games, every single time.
Unfortunate, man.
Isn't Subban injury prone too?
I don't know, but
I just don't. I don't see it for that money, man.
You need depth. You need depth on D, even if it's for the year. I think they would do it. I think they'd entertain it.
If they do 50% retained, okay, but like man, like if like that, definitely not 9. Definitely not 9.
No, God, no. Jeez, God, no.
God, no. It would have to be 50% or 45% retained. Like anything over 5, it would be an absolute no.
No, absolutely. So just for our listeners out there, like I said, we do have an intro ready. It just needs to be kind of edited with our logo to just give a smooth experience. Hope you guys like the overlay. It's got all our social media handles on there. We're going to be posting social media content and actually following other podcasters, people who love the Leafs. As the season ramps up right now, it's just kind of it's still the off season, right? Until training camp starts, we're just ramping up here. So if anyone watches these videos, we will make them better. We're going to get better, and it's going to get even flashier. So, do you guys have any final words?
No. I did go to an interview today and got made of by the interviewee because I was a Leafs fan.
Yeah, actually, speaking of which, I turned on my Zoom today. It was in a big group meeting. There's like 70 something people in there, and the one guy said, Camille, it looks like you got a radio set up there. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a Leafs. I do a Maple Leaf podcast, and he wasn't really a Maple Leaf fan, so it didn't really ring true to him. But a girl, she had spoken. She's like, what's the name of the podcast? Like, I'll follow it. And I just said, oh, it's and like sometimes I have mixed reactions when I say the name of our podcast to other people. Like some people are like, huh? Other people are like, ah. But she just absolutely burst out dying laughing when I said Leafs in 7. She's like, that is so good. She's like, that is actually so funny. Like,
Awesome.
So I was like, all right, I like it. And it was pretty genuine. So I
That's pretty good.
yeah, I was pretty happy with it. But yeah, so intro coming, logo with the intro coming, and we need an exit screen. That's going to all be coming up for the start of the season. Please follow us on Twitter. We will follow you back. That's something we're going to start doing when people start listening. We're going to follow every single person back. That is a promise. If you're a Leaf fan or a hockey fan, we will follow you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, guys, until next time, next week.
So long.
Signing off. In 7. Leafs.
In 7.